All right, let's talk about money, but maybe not in the way you're used to. We're going to go way beyond spreadsheets and boring budgets. We're diving into the small, almost invisible habits that can completely flip your financial story, from one of stress and anxiety to one of strength and real confidence. Let's get into it.
This right here, it really gets to the core of it all. We're always told, just make more money, right? But that is only half the picture. The real transformation, the thing that actually changes your life, happens when you shift your mindset. It's about being intentional with what you've already got. It's not just about the numbers in your bank account. It's about how you see and value yourself.
So, where do you even start? It can feel like a huge mountain to climb, can it? Like, where is the first step? Well, here's the good news. It doesn't have to be this big, complicated thing. It really just boils down to a few simple but super powerful habits. And today, we're going to break down 5 of them. 5 keys that unlock not just financial freedom, but maybe more importantly, financial peace of mind.
Okay, so our very first habit, the foundation for everything else, is awareness. And look, this is not about some crazy restrictive budget or making you feel guilty for every coffee you buy. Not at all. Think of it more like just flipping on the lights in a dark room. It's about gently and with some compassion for yourself, just seeing what's actually happening with your money.
And this really shows the before and after perfectly. Before, on the left, that's blind spending. It's that end-of-the-month feeling of, where did all my money go? You feel totally powerless. But then, once you start tracking, wow, everything changes. You go from being a passenger to being the one in the driver's seat. You start seeing the patterns, you notice the little wins, and the biggest thing, you start making intentional choices instead of just reacting.
Because that's what it comes down to, right? Awareness is power. Once you have that clarity, you finally have the power to ask yourself the most important question of all. Hey, does this purchase actually line up with the life I'm trying to build for myself? And that simple understanding, that right there is the foundation for everything that follows.
All right, so awareness is step 1. Huge step, but just knowing isn't enough. The next part is actually building a system that turns your good intentions into automatic actions. The whole goal here is to make being consistent effortless, to create a setup that works for you, not against you.
And this system really has 2 main parts. First up, pay yourself first. Seriously, this is a revolutionary shift for so many people. It means your savings, your future goals, they get the first piece of your paycheck, not just whatever's left over at the end of the month. It's you telling yourself, my future is a priority. And then you automate the whole thing. Set up those automatic transfers to your savings. That way you take willpower and temptation completely out of the picture.
And this quote just nails it. Systems protect your goals when motivation fades. Think about it. Relying on motivation is tough. It comes and goes. It's totally unreliable. But a system is like an engine that just keeps running in the background. It keeps you on track, even on the days you just don't feel like it. It makes your progress almost, automatic.
Okay, so we've got awareness and we've got a system. Now we need to talk about mastering your inner game. This is all about the mindset, the habits that are going to fuel you for the long haul. It's really about the energy you bring to your finances.
And the first part of this inner game might actually surprise you. It's gratitude. Yeah, I know, it can sound a little fluffy, right? But stick with me, because this is a total game changer. When you really take a moment to appreciate the money you do have, even if it's just enough to get by, you start to shift from a feeling of lack to a feeling of enough. It doesn't magically make more money appear, but it completely changes your relationship with it. And what that does is it helps you manage what you already have, instead of constantly chasing what you don't. You move out of that frantic, panicked energy and into a calmer, more thoughtful space. You stop making decisions based on fear and start making them based on what you truly value. And that is the key to growing what you have. The last piece of this inner game, it's all about the story you tell yourself. So many of us have this old story on repeat. I'm just bad with money. We say it like it's a fact, like it's part of our DNA. But that story is a locked door. So what if you just change the story? From I'm bad with money to I'm learning about money. See the difference? That one little tweak opens up a whole new world of possibility and growth. It's not about being perfect, it's about being curious. So let's recap. We've talked about awareness, we've talked about systems, and we've talked about mindset. Now it's time to put it all together and look at your path to growth. How do all these pieces fit together to create your next intentional step?
Here it is, the 5 intentional habits all laid out.
You start by tracking with compassion, no judgment. Then you pay yourself first and automate your savings, that's your system. And you fuel the whole thing by practicing gratitude and staying curious and open to learning. You can see how they all work together, right? They build on each other and create this amazing positive momentum.
And really, if there's one idea that I want you to walk away with, it's this one right here. We tend to think of discipline as being restrictive, right? Like a punishment. But it's not. Discipline is love. It's self-love. Every single time you save, every time you make a conscious choice with your money, you are showing up for your future self. You're giving that future you more freedom, more choices, more peace.
And that brings us to the most important question of all. Because none of this happens by accident. It happens with intention. So looking at everything we've just talked about, I've got a question for you. What's one intentional step you'll take this week? Just one. Maybe it's tracking your spending for a single day. Maybe it's finally setting up that automatic transfer. Or hey, maybe it's just noticing that old story and choosing a new one. Whatever it is, no matter how small, it's a start. And it's all yours.